Have you ever wanted to get the most out of your holiday but don't know how? Have you ever wondered how much exchange rates play a part in how great your holiday can be? Well, in this video, I would like to show you how exchange rates matter in the value that you're getting when going overseas and why you should consider your exchange rate when picking the country of your destination. Hello there, my name is Tally and I love all things personal finance, and I'm here to share my journey on some tips and tricks, and hopefully you're able to share some of yours in the comments back to me. So, for me, I try to pick a country when going on holidays where I know that my currency that I earn my wage in is stronger against the country that I'm looking to go on holidays on. So I currently reside in Australia, and my holidays, I would look at how the AUD performs against the yen, the USD, the euro, the pound, etc. Currently, I am in the US on holidays, and my current exchange rate is approximately 1 AUD against 70 cents USD. Now, you might be thinking, gosh, Talicia, you're actually losing money. Well, yes, I am, because every dollar I earn, I'm only getting 70 cents back in the USD. But if you actually look at the 5-year average, the USD is a strong currency in a strong nation, and therefore the currency is, generally speaking, a lot stronger against the AU. But you can see in the last 5 years, the last 3 months has actually performed really great for Australia against the US, in that it has appreciated in value. That has meant that previously I was able to having to spend more money to get the same value back. But now that it's stronger, my dollar's worth more, and therefore I'm able to enjoy my holiday more. So that being said, when I choose a country, I would write down the top 10 countries that I would consider going on holiday. I look up the exchange rates, and mind you, you don't want to be playing a game where things fluctuate and are volatile, but generally speaking, you would know that some countries would perform less favorably against your dollar, and perhaps they're better value for money in that you could do different types of activities in that country that you couldn't do in your home country because it is more affordable. So for example, I might want to go to Asia, and I'll choose a country like Indonesia, and I might be able to go whitewater rafting, hiking, abseiling, all these other activities that I would find quite unaffordable in Australia. But if the exchange rate is right, then I'm able to get more value out of my holiday. And personally, I prefer to go on a holiday where my dollar is stronger and I'm able to afford all these fun activities. The other thing I would note is that when picking different types of holidays, I would, once I've locked in the particular country, if the dollar is favorable, I would consider locking in as much of your accommodation and activities in as possible without being too inflexible for the rest of the trip, so that you can get the best rate. So even if it changes over the next 6 months prior to your holiday, you've actually locked in the rate in which you're happy with. If it's appreciated against the other currency, you want to be locking that in as early as possible, noting that you'd be foregoing return in interest in the bank. So say if your trip costs $5,000 and you've got a 5% return in the bank, then you wouldn't be getting that return in the bank. Rather, you'd have locked it into your holiday. But that being said, I think that with holidays, it's always important to not be disappointed and have everything booked in advance, especially if you're going long distances overseas. The worst thing you could do is get on a flight and miss out on half the activities. So that's why I would say looking at your exchange rate against another exchange rate is quite important so that you can get the most out of your holiday whilst not going to an expensive country where you feel like you can't even go out for dinner. For somewhere like Switzerland is quite expensive. Of those Nordic countries can be quite dear. And so if you're finding that you are missing out on activities or everything's quite pricey and you're feeling a bit burnt out financially, it probably wouldn't be best to go to such an expensive holiday if you're not enjoying it as much. It's likely just nicer to really enjoy local activities in a country you can afford and get the most out of your trip by doing lots of different fun things. That's just a quick tip from me, and I hope you really enjoy this video and that it helps you. Thank you. Bye.